please stand and we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening. I'll call this school board meeting for Independent School District 544 to order. And our first item of business is to establish our quorum.
Melanie Cole.
Here.
Lane Danielson here. Matt Lemke.
Here.
Steve Vigasoff.
Here.
Here. Missy Hermes.
Present.
We have a come.
Very well. All right. Next item on the agenda is to seek approval for the agenda. Is there a motion to do so?
So moved.
All right. A second?
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. The agenda is approved, and we'll keep moving right on to reports and correspondence from the board members about our various outside obligations. So we'll begin with Matt Lemke.
Lakes Country Service Co-op met on September 13th. Superintendent Ness had already talked about the 18 online stats, that it's gone very, very well for people taking their masters in their areas in their high school for being germane to what they're teaching. And it looks like they will most likely get additional funding to continue that on, which is nice to see. The only thing I wanted else to bring up is they just talk a lot about the cooperative purchasing connection that they have, and just to give a kind of historical thing is that this has been going on for first 5 years. And this is tri-state, so this is South Dakota, North Dakota, and Minnesota. And they've done about, for the first 5 years, so 2013 to 2018, they did about $8 million worth of sales. And just for 2 months, they've done already over $1 million. And so they most likely will, if things continue to go, will sell just as much as they did in 1 year than they did in 5. So it's kind of nice to see it growing. And then again, I think schools are seeing the advantage of taking the opportunity to use it. And word of mouth always helps too. So that's why I have to report for Lakes Country Service Co-op. For the Minnesota State High School, they met October 4th, and it actually was a pretty busy meeting. One of the things they did do is they approved their board goals for 2018-2019 school year. Their goals are to be promoting the high school experience, recruitment and retention of coaches and ADs. What does a member school look like? Saturation of programs. That was a question mark, so I don't know why the question mark's there, but they have a question mark there. And the last one they have also a question mark is to add 9th grade students and programs, I think, as a high school activities. And again, it's a question mark. Should we do that? Should we not? I think the saturation of programs is Minnesota High School League getting to offer too many programs to be able to do it well, and then also to have enough student participants. So that's part of their 5. The other thing that I will take note is that they also, for wrestling, just because that's coming up, is they did approve going down to 12, from 14 classes, weight classes, down to 12. And a lot of that is for your smaller schools to be able to actually field a team and be able to actually compete, and that was one of the things. They said that a school could have, and I'm talking probably your 3A schools, would have the opportunity to wrestle either 13 or 14 weight classes if the coaches mutually agree to it, like 48 hours before the actual meet. So that was one thing that they did. They did also approve during that meeting. And the last thing that I'm going to talk about is there's going to be a change. Next year is kind of a big year. Actually, this winter is when redistricting of who you're going to be playing your section. Football is kind of the driving force in this. This happens a lot. And so they just put in some timelines for people to ask for appeals, because there tends to be a lot of appeals to placement of where they're being placed for their class. And so they put some official, proposals to officially put back to the league when schools need to get back to them, so they can have a kind of a timeline, so that they can, again, address schools that will probably appeal right away for their place. So, and that's what I have to report.
All right. Good. Any questions for Matt? All right, Natalie Knudsen.
On the wellness side of things, I've been connecting with Lance and Carenza regarding some of the healthy food options that are being served in the cafeterias. And they're just continuing to look at different ways to revamp some of the Otter Value meal options and making sure fresh fruits and veggies are out to be an option for the kids here at Kennedy, but then also at the elementary schools. They also received, the school did a grant from the Lake Region Foundation to help with some marketing and some signage to just make healthy eating look more appealing to the students. So that's in the works as to how and where that's going to be placed. And then a few teachers from each school and here at Kennedy, along with some students from the ALC and some students from here at Kennedy, attended the Thrive event that was hosted a couple of weeks ago. We had 150 community members present, so it was really cool to see that big group from the school district there. And what the event was promoting health and well-being through happiness. So presenting different materials and different pieces to implement into your workplace setting or your overall setting to help shift the culture and help make everybody happier. And there's science that was presented behind all of the tools that they showed us and taught us how to implement and gave us ideas. So Jerry can maybe speak on what the next steps are for the district on that. And then the policy group will be meeting after our work session tonight. So I don't have anything to report on that.
All right. Very good. And the lunch communication that you've been having, is that part of the whole wellness group then, the entirety of that?
That group provides some insight, but we've been working outside of that, communicating and some different things. And there were some good steps that were taken into the spring last year. But I think there's still just some opportunities, and Lance has a lot of ideas. So I think once we nail down exactly what our focus will be for this school year, we'd like to let the teachers know that those options are available too. Because of the survey we sent out last year, it was clear that they had no idea what was being offered, and I mean some of the grab-and-go salads and those types of things could potentially serve as some revenue for the district if teachers are eating in-house. So.
Okay. All right, good. Any other questions for Natalie? Thank you. My board reports include Special Education Cooperative. We had our monthly meeting today of the full board, and the highlight of that meeting was that one of the investigators or auditors from the Minnesota Department of Education came to the meeting today and described his role as to give oversight to the special education programming in each district in the cooperative. And so he described how he does that to a certain degree, and then, kind of made the demarcation that his role to look at spaces and programming is different than another investigator who might come out if they were responding to an individual child's special education needs and investigation. So anyway, he was very complimentary about the leadership in our special education cooperative, and so it was kind of neat to have him come out. And so that's a big focus right now at that district level. And then also the audit has been concluded at the special education cooperative. So that was a gist of that. In regard to Region 1, again, just that humongous expansion really covers our board meetings and now staffing, and then getting out of the flex accounts, and that's given some reorganizational impetus as well. So, that's that. Finance Committee hasn't had any active meetings lately, and then as far as activities, we've also not had any convenings of that group, so those are my reports. Any questions for me? We'll move on to Melissa Hermes.
Okay, the Staff Development Committee has met twice now this year, or this school year, and so we met last week. And it's exciting to hear all the different ways that staff are preparing, learning new things, and we've already allotted about half of that staff development budget now. Just a little over half is left of the original $30,000. So, I mean, now goes through the school year. That's not all right now, but so look excited to hear what the teachers learn and so on at their different conferences and so on. Curriculum review, any questions? I'm sorry. Oh, curriculum review, I'm so excited to talk about that, but we haven't met yet, so that's coming up soon, and that'll be fun to meet the new people that are on that committee. Usually at the October meeting, new people are coming aboard that committee.
And do you have a foretaste of what you're gonna talk about at the first meeting?
No,
Not yet?
No, not yet.
Organizational meeting, basically, you kind of introduce everybody, do layout, so.
All right. Any other questions for Missy? Thanks, Missy. And Blaine Danielson?
Meet and confer, we have not met. Buildings and grounds, I think, keep on doing what we're doing as far as all the buildings, and I think everything is going good. Maybe a little update yet on the heating and cooling, are we getting that? I haven't talked to Mark if we're getting that under control. I know the last email I saw.
It's getting closer. We have less downtime now at the Adams facility.
Okay.
But still have a few little glitches in the programming, so we'll get there.
Okay.
Is this comparable to the other times we've had the same type
Yeah,
project?
we've had the same kinds of things at McKinley when we did that, and Cleveland when we did that one. It's that time of year. It's a brand new system, and gotta work the kinks out.
Okay.
And then 544, we meet this coming Thursday, and our last meeting was on September 13th, and just a quick update from that one regarding the classroom wish list, and I'm sure we'll get updated here on Thursday, and Jerry maybe knows too, but at that point, they had 89 classroom requests, and 37 had been fully funded and 5 partially funded, and so I don't know, Jerry, if you've heard any more on that.
Every more, I know that.
I'm guessing most of them usually do get close to funded.
Yep, they do. And then I know that the teacher requests out of their ready, they typically give out about 30,000 or a little bit more. They are meeting prior, and then we'll have a recommendation on Thursday's board meeting to allocate those monies.
Okay, and the date for that, I think it ended September 28th was the day that ended for that, so, but, so I'll probably hear more on that this coming Thursday at the meeting, so, but other than that, that's what I got.
All right. Any questions for Blaine? Okay. Last but not least, Stephen Vigasa.
Not a whole lot going on in the legislature right now. We're talking a lot about closing that cross-subsidy gap for special education. Right now, they're asking schools to give ideas of how to reduce the cost of special education. So, kind of reading between the lines, it's a way of, educators saying, okay, we've done our job to reduce our costs, pay up, kind of a thing. So it's, that's just what I got from all of this, but nothing else is coming, nothing else is really talked about as, anything that really worth mentioning right now, but that's a biggie that they're working on right now, so that's about all I got.
Okay, any questions for Stephen? And on to Superintendent Ness.
Yes, 2 flyers at your table. There's one from MREA. This is their annual conference, invitation to their annual conference called Engaging Students Now. I will be there. I'm on the board of MREA, so I will be in attendance. Number of good speakers, lots of breakout sessions, so if you're interested in attending, let me know. It actually starts on Sunday, November 11th, and goes through Tuesday noon about. So if you're interested in that, let me know. And then another flyer. The date that should be on this flyer is October 11th, this Thursday. So this is a big day for our high school juniors, the high school, 9 through 12. We have wonderful speakers coming in. We have juniors and seniors. I believe they're touring 11 different businesses. So we've broken all of the junior seniors down into groups of 15, and they will be touring different buildings. So you'll just see lots of 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, what their deals are. And then at about 11 o'clock, we'll have 8 other schools that'll come to the building and go through all the Gold Gym is filled with vendors. There's 2 speakers that'll keynote speakers, young entrepreneurs, so get kids excited about thinking about what they want to do. This is a great day to just start triggering the thought process. What do I want to do? And so they'll see lots of businesses will be there recruiting kids. There's no question. From 9th grade up, these kids are getting recruited to go into the medical field, manufacturing, you name it. They're trying to get them interested into their line of business, because everyone, the theme of the day is everyone is short workers. And so, and that includes education with teachers and paraprofessionals, support staff. So those are the 2 items I just wanted to mention.
What are some of the other schools that are coming?
All the area schools, 8 area schools are right around us. Yep.
Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Any other questions?
Oh, I'm sorry. Parent-teacher conferences. Yes, that's a big thing. Thursday, we have an early out. Teachers are preparing for the parent-teacher conferences that night. So this Thursday and Monday, they run from 4 to 7:45. So you can come either evening, and if you're K-8, you should have a schedule, so you should know when your conference is. 9-12 can come at any time on those days, and also Friday from 8 to 3:15, so parent-teacher conferences as well.
All right.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I just had a feeling you had something else in there. All
I'm
right.
looking at my notes right here.
All right, and so we'll move on to our general consent items. And consider for approval the minutes from our last board meeting on September 24th. And then please tell us, Natalie, what's current with bills and treasurer's report.
Yeah, we had just regular payments this last month, and we're just still sitting right around $8.3 million, so we're sitting well.
All right. And then Elaine, will you review personnel matters?
Absolutely. We have a combination of a little of everything here. Under resignations, we have Amy Larson, who's a special ed para, Jenny Johnson, who does our bus and noon hour supervision, and Brian Peterson, a district mechanical worker under the custodian contract. Support staff retirement, we have Christy Jitterman, who works in 2 capacities at the school district, both a special education paraprofessional and a paraeducator. And we have a resolution a little later on under new business. Support staff hires, we've hired Joyce, I request that we hire Joyce House, who would be a noon hour supervisor over at Adams, and then Tony Cantrell as a special education paraprofessional. And then last, number 4, the 2018-20 agreement with the curriculum coordinator, who happens to be Carrie Thompson. And so I just request these in front of the board for approval. And then one other thing I just wanted to say for the public audience that's watching tonight is that we have employment opportunities posted all the time, so I just encourage everyone to go to isd544.org, and under the info tab, just click on to employment, and all the jobs are listed there at all times. So I just really encourage everyone to keep watching that area and to apply accordingly.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there a motion to approve the items on the general consent agenda?
So moved.
A second?
I'll second.
And discussion on the items? Anybody have any commentary or questions? Hearing none, all in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And that is approved. Last meeting, we had our teacher Nathan Ahrens present on the Washington DC trip request for 2020. Kind of get that ball rolling. And so is there a motion by the board to approve that trip request?
So moved.
And is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor of approving that the trip can be presented to the students at the option of parents and students to go, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right. Under new business, looking for a motion to request 2 additional paraprofessional positions at Adams School and McKinley School, which will, if we approve, be posted on the website, just like Ms. Jackie just said. So,
Very good.
yeah, thanks.
We work as a team.
All right, will someone make that motion to add those positions?
So moved.
And a second?
A second.
All right, and any discussion on those? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that is approved. In order to comply with Minnesota statute, we need to submit an annual report to the Commissioner of Education to say we're complying with discrimination mandates, right?
Yep.
And so we have that report prepared and looking for a motion to approve the 18-19 annual assurance of compliance and mandated reporting on that topic. Is there a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Discussion? Background? Do you want to, Elaine, this is your, kind of your baby, isn't it?
Well, it can be.
Okay.
And basically, like I stated down here, is it's just stating that the district is complying with state and federal laws prohibiting discrimination. And this year, they also added mandated reporting to that whole compliance issue, which is new. We have been doing it, and we've been training our staff each year for it, but that is brand new to the actual annual report that we have had before in the past.
So Christy Hastings from Pemberton Law did the training, and Annalee does that training for us.
Okay, very good. And the mandated reporting, is that referencing child abuse or just any? Okay, very well. All right, so any other questions, commentary? All in favor of approving, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. All right, that's approved. And I'll read a resolution on the retirement of Christy Biederman. Whereas Christy Biederman began her employment with Fergus Falls Public Schools in August 1992, and whereas Christy has been a valued employee with Fergus Falls Public Schools for the past 26 years, and whereas Christy has done an excellent job as a paraeducator and a special education paraprofessional, and now therefore be it resolved by the Fergus Falls School Board to thank Christy Biederman for her 26 years of dedicated service to Fergus Falls Public Schools. Will someone offer that resolution and move for its adoption?
I'll offer the resolution, move for its adoption.
And is there a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion on the resolution? Clerk, will you please take roll?
Natalie Knudsen,
Yes.
Missy Hermes,
Yes.
Steve Vigasa,
Yes.
Matt Lemke,
Yes.
Blaine Danielson, yes, Melanie Cole.
Yes?
Resolution passes.
All right. Thank you, Christie. Now we are to the closing part of the meeting where we will adjourn. We'll stick around for a long-term planning session as board and discuss that topic. Our next regular board meeting is Monday, October 22nd at 5:15. And that concludes the agenda. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion on that? All in favor of adjourning, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say nay. And we are adjourned. Thank you.